Hey guys, so when we recorded this episode that you're about to watch, I didn't hit start recording on the video. So this is what we looked like when we were talking about this batch of episodes, if you need to see it.
All these figures are behind me the entire time, like an idiot.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to run looping footage of us last episode. And there'll still be the full edit job and everything. It'll cut to us when it's supposed to cut to us. Just pretend that our mouths are moving at that time. So
no, Randy, let's just do this, and then the entire episode just loop this.
All right.
The entire time.
We'll catch you right now.
Hello and welcome to We Got a Podcast, a podcast about Dragon Ball from A to Z, from Earth to Namek to Sadala. We cover it all. My name is Randy.
And I'm Doug -1.
And I am a fusion of our minds. Ken.
Ooh.
Nailed it.
Nice. We're the world's strongest under the heavens. Trio de Dangers here every other week to talk your ear off about fights, goofs, and everything else in the Dragon Ball cosmos. Doug, Les, how you doing?
Doing great. I literally just came back from watching the newest Godzilla movie, Godzilla -1.
Ooh.
Fantastic. I see what the hype is all about, and I hope by the time this podcast comes out that it's still in theaters. I don't know if it will, because it's such a limited run, and it's all in Japanese, English subtitled. Man, I don't think I've ever watched a Godzilla movie where I actually cared 1,000% about the human characters. Like, when Godzilla shows up like at different points of the movie, I'm like, oh yeah, he's in this movie. It's good. I can't wait for you guys to watch it eventually.
Nice. Ken, what's new with you?
It's bulking season, guys. We're post Thanksgiving now, and my belly is getting bigger. So,
you gotta work out, man.
I try to eat well 10 months of the year, and then once November hits, it's game over. Man, because actually a little bit before that, because candy corn season, that's really when it starts.
Oh, yeah.
I ate a lot of candy corn, and then that goes into November.
Because someone has to eat it.
All the Christmas stuff is out. Yeah, I'm not going to let these plates go just into the sink uneaten. So,
my mama said never waste food, so yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's true.
I beat Mario RPG. Fantastic.
Oh, heck yeah.
Nice.
Highly recommend it. There's some stuff I didn't like. The game always has a reputation for being pretty easy, and they made it even easier. So just by means of all of the quality of life stuff that they added in, it made the game too easy. I think it really is. You can just sleep your way through that game.
Oh, okay.
So just expect that going in. But it is full of charm. And if you look for it, not for a challenge, but just to have a good time, you will.
Nice.
Sometimes that's kind of nice, You
That's
don't
what
know
I want sometimes.
Yeah, not everything has to be a challenge, a proof of one's mettle. You can just be like, all right, that was a good experience.
And they added in some post-game bosses to it, which are difficult, but the boss battles are more like puzzles. And so once you figure out the puzzle to the boss battle, then it's not actually that hard.
Interesting. I feel like they do that a lot. Nintendo does that a lot with their Mario games, is to add post-game stuff like, oh, here for the people that really want a challenge. But because it's not a part of the main story, it just feels like a tacked-on thing, which is nice, but it'd be nice to implement that in the game proper.
Yeah, for sure. Randy, what have you been up to?
Oh, I've been up to this and that. I was playing a little game called Tales of Arise. I beat that bad boy. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's funny playing that game, which came out in 2021, but playing it now in a post-Final Fantasy 16 world, because both share a lot of themes and plot beats. I'm like, oh, really? Okay, well, yeah, both are like, you play some sort of royal dude who lives a long part of his life as a slave and is now like trying a slave uprising and things, and it's just interesting to see those things back to back.
But it's a lot more anime character-ish.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Okay. Much less Game of Thrones and more, just your standard.
Genshin Impact.
yeah, exactly. But not as horny, which is, not that that's wrong. You can, I know.
Yeah, me and Ken are like, there goes my interest.
I'm not against... if you know me, I'm not against the horny. This is the one with the
main character that's like on the cover, she's sitting on a mountain, and because of the aspect of it, it looks like she's a giant. Or am I thinking of a different game that has that?
Maybe. I don't know. I choose different custom box art for all the stuff on my Steam library, so I don't know what the real box art looks like. It's fun. It's a hobby in and of itself. other than that, I finished season 1 of Star Trek Strange New Worlds. Ken, he's given me you're proud. I'm glad. I'm looking forward to season 2. Think that'll be good. And,
You see, Randy caught himself from explaining everything you're doing, Ken.
It's true.
Doug, you just made it. You went too far.
Yeah. Doctor Who's back, y'all, and it's really great. Except for the one part of we've got 3 specials now with the 14th Doctor, and we're gonna do 15th Doctor for Christmas, which means I'm having a good time with 14, and then immediately remembered, oh, that's right, I'm gonna have to watch this one die pretty soon. That makes me sad. So,
but they always die.
He's the 10th, right?
Well, he's 14.
Or the 7th, or
he was the 10th, and now he's back, and he's not 10 again. He is 14. Is what it is.
But he's the same guy?
Same guy, much the same, but, older, wiser, / comes with all of the baggage that the previous ones
How can he
had.
be older if he controls time? Riddle me that.
Because the actor is a real person, and also time
Not
has
what
passed.
I heard.
Yeah, well, also my theory is that 10 was straight and 14 is gay. And that's only the real difference between the two. Personality-wise, they're the same. But, yeah, I mean, it's good stuff. If you've not seen Doctor Who and you have Disney+, go check out the new specials that are out. You don't even have to have watched 60 years of stuff before this. That's fine. Just jump in. You'll have a good time. You'll understand what's going on. And it'll be good. You'll have a new obsession. But speaking of obsessions, we are, again, obsessively covering Dragon Ball GT here on this here podcast, the retrospective of auspiciosity, as the brand has to be said, so that way, we get to keep the
lawyers
trademark.
Are at bay. They're actually always by our doorsteps waiting for us to say, yeah, but we're not gonna.
They've knocked a few times because we've come close.
It's me, Goku. Have you ever seen that TikTok? Just knock on the door. Hey, it's me, Goku. Dun, 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 dun.
I have not. I'm gonna have to check this out. You're gonna have to link me
This
some
is why
stuff.
I stopped watching TikTok, because I see too much.
That's fair. But we're talking about GT. This time we're going to be covering episodes 45 to 47. And you might be like, well, what happened in those first 44? Well, don't worry. I've got you covered. Wrote a little recap here. So what's been going on? It's been quite the year in the Dragon world. After tracking down the ultimate Dragon Balls across the universe, a kiddified Son Goku has ensured peace on Earth once again by tussling with the technologically terrifying Sufurian baby. However, hell has opened up, and now a renewed and improved number 17 is wreaking havoc thanks to a pair of brilliant brainiacs, Dr. Garo and Dr. Mew. Can Goku and company handle yet another malicious machine mutant? Ken, you rewrote some parts and you made it even more fantastic. I just have to bring it up. I don't want people to think that I'm a genius. It's a fusion of Ken and I's brains. I am me and you are me, whatever it was.
Well, but see, now I'm starting to get into the meta competition like with Zenpai. So when I wrote tussling with the technologically terrifying Sufurian was definitely meant to trip you up.
Well, hopefully I didn't stumble too badly there. But moving on, like I said, we're doing 45 to 47 today, which these episodes aired from May 14th, 1997 to June 4th, 1997. Ken, the time that you have awaited for, what do we think about these chunk of episodes that we watched? I don't want to be first. Doug, what did you think?
Who wants to go first? I don't want to go first.
Okay, fine. I'll go first.
Yeah, okay.
I'll go first. Fine.
Yeah.
Jeez. I thought they were just, this arc is just kind of goofy, but I had a decent enough time with it. Like, I don't know, I've got a soft spot for 17. So some new stuff with him, even though it's kind of not the 17 I know, is it's still fun. It's all right.
Ken?
I loved them. I thought these were such an improvement over the. Well, look, I go in trying to love stuff. I'm going to come out loving it most of the time. I thought they were delightfully fun, even though there were periods of time where I am confident the writers forgot some pretty serious character things. Yeah. But then there were also times where I thought they forgot stuff or were ignoring stuff, and then they addressed it, and I was surprised.
Oh, really? Okay.
So it's a mixed bag, but overall, once we got past the kind of messy opening that this arc had, I had a really good time with these episodes, and we got to see one of the most iconic video game levels. So
yeah,
I finally have context for that. We'll get into it.
Me too.
We'll get into a future episode.
Okay, we'll get into it. All right.
Yeah.
For me, I hated the first episode, episode 45? And then I loved episode 46. And then 47 was whatever. But yeah, I had a decent time watching these. This is a roller coaster of this sucks, this is stupid, they lack creativity in every aspect. Oh, that's a cool shot. And then like that's basically how it went.
Yeah, it can be kind of a roller coaster. I mean, we opened up with a Yamamuro episode. Not Yamamuro, Uchiyama. That's the name that I wanted to say.
Uchiyama.
If we had a bad time with Yamamuro at this point in his career, oof, it'd be rough. So let's jump into it then. Let's do episode 45. Ken, would you mind telling us what the deal with this episode is?
Sure. Well, first of all, Randall, it's called Hurry Goku, The Great Escape from Hell.
Ooh.
After defeating Frieza and Cell, Goku remains trapped in the afterlife with no means of escape. Suddenly, Piccolo arrives with a plan to sync with Dende in the living world and reopen the interdimensional portal to return Goku to Earth. However, this turns out to be more difficult than expected, leaving Vegeta and the others to fight off the newly transformed Super 17 on their own. Can they hold out long enough for their Super Saiyan 4 trump card to arrive? No, they can't.
No, they can't.
They can't. They do a bad job. So I'm glad that this episode, I felt, had an obscenely long last time sort of thing, recapping what happened before. It was about 2.5 minutes of just telling long. Us what's happened in this.
Think we needed it, but
I'm glad I had it because it had been 2 weeks since we watched these. So I was like, all right, fill me in. But
all I forgot about was the Piccolo part. Everything else, I'm like, yeah, Goku's in hell. He fought Frieza and Cell, and Super 17's out there. That's the whole arc. So the Piccolo part was a part I need reminding of.
That's true.
So,
but man, they kept digging into the Piccolo thing this entire episode. What a waste of time, right?
Just him not being able to do the timing with Dende?
Dende and Piccolo just have to count down 3, 2, 1 to sync up their mind juices or whatever to be able to open a portal back in between the two, like hell and earth. And they can't nail it down. And it feels like Dende just can't count down or something like that. Like he's the god of earth and he can't do a simple 3, 2, 1.
Okay, but
for half the episode.
It's like they didn't have rollback netcode, Doug. So, there's a lag, and it's like if you and I were to try to do it.
Fighters figured it out.
We would have trouble because there's a slight lag in between where we are. We're not in the same room. Not to dispel the myth of people listening on Spotify. We're not all in the same room.
Whoa.
So, I was less concerned with them not being able to do it and more with the fact that they could do it at all. And I just had to keep thinking back like, okay, yeah, right. I remember Piccolo is actually Kami. Okay, we're past this point. He's so influenced by Kami that he is just basically Kami at this point. At some point in Kami's long deity ship, he must have learned about this or heard about this. We know he had met Enma and probably had spent a certain amount of time in the afterlife, as gods do, I guess.
Do you think?
So he must have picked it up. He's just the god of Earth,
I mean, he doesn't mention that. He just mentioned that he saw 17 do it with 17. And so, anyone can do that, it feels like. I don't think he specifically said because he was a god. I like that idea that because they're both gods, they can do that, but it just seems so out of left field.
Well, then, because I didn't catch about him saying, oh, I saw 17 do this. So then maybe that means at a Namekian level, there must be some way to do this. Just for normal Namekians.
Or I like to think, jumping off of like your explanation of it, is that Jiro and Mew, they found out about this, how to make a portal from the gods, because gods can do it.
I got it, Doug. The Toyotaro Dragon Realm explanation, okay?
We'll see that guy's name in front of me.
So when you use the Dragon Balls and you summon the dragon, what that is actually doing is creating an interdimensional portal to the Dragon Realm. Go. Thus, the Namekians have access to the same type of technology,
Technology
Don't underestimate the supernatural powers of a Namekian, Doug.
They're just shooting laser beams out of their hands to a random spot, and then that's supposed to open up a portal to whatever. It's just because 17 did it that they like, oh, we can do it too. That's it. They didn't think anything past that, and they couldn't think of anything. It's like, because this is a callback to when Pan and Goku found a way to count down 3, 2, 1 instead they used food. it's the callback, but it's the stupidest callback to the stupidest idea that ever existed in not stupidest, but you know what I mean. And it just, but you would never see this from Akira Toriyama in Dragon Ball. But his lack of creativity.
You say that, but I spent this whole period of time being like, oh man, they could just reference the tempura bowl thing here, but I bet they won't. I don't trust that they'll do that. And then they did, and I was like,
I knew
hell
they would.
Yes. I was happy about it.
I was not. That was such a lack of creativity.
See, I thought it was good because I didn't even think about that. I forgot about that part entirely. I was fixated on Goku being unable to think about anything other than food because he's hungry, as he always is. I was like, man, you know, it'd be great. And by great, I mean to me, who is an idiot.
Right.
If it was like, oh, we can't get the timing right, or like we can't concentrate and be on the same level, and I'm like, call to some dude, you know, in I don't know, Kansas Dragon World, who's also like, oh man, I'm super starving. Like, hey, keep thinking about that. Goku's gonna think about, you know, getting food, and then you two are gonna connect.
Neat. See, yeah, because I didn't find it so egregious when Goku and Pan did it, because it's Goku doing it and he's an idiot. But this is Piccolo and Dende. These are two intelligent people that should be able to count down 3, 2, 1 and find some kind of way to sync up. Besides that, like, why just changing the name would arguably make it harder in real life if you actually tried doing it that way. But I don't know, man. I rolled my eyes too much.
I think this arc reeks of them being told you have half the number of episodes to do what you want to do here.
Yeah.
So I think they just had to skip past certain things. Like, remember when this arc started, the first episode, Trunks shows up already all damaged from a fight with 17. We don't get any sort of explanation about what's going on with 17. It's just stuff is happening for happening's sake. So there's no room to go and start explaining why Piccolo and Dende might be able to do this. Like, I'm now 1,000 million quadrillion % assured that they were told, hey, you only have this many episodes left. Whatever plans you had, just go ahead and wrap it up.
But then they waste half of this entire episode just doing that. They're trying to sync up the beams between portals. That doesn't add up then. Why would you waste probably more than half the episode doing that? And then Goku does the meanest thing where he's just like, Piccolo's in pain holding the portal open. He's like, it hurts to move even a little bit. This is very taxing. And Goku's just like, well, Piccolo, thanks for everything. You sure you don't want to come? Okay. He takes his freaking time, and it's so annoying. Just go. Just go.
So, two things. One, Ken, I'm glad that you brought up that you are 100% sure that they know now. Like, we got a truncated time. We've got so many episodes. We got to get through this. That's all you got. I want to say my theory, and somebody's going to do some research and prove me right. I think they figured it out, or were knowing that they had so little time, about the point where Oob shows up to fight Baby, because I feel like that's when we start really having to move forward, and just like things happen, and then a huge plot thing will happen in one episode, rather than like, you know, how Z and stuff used to work, where you got to stretch it out a bit. I think that it's that point where it's like, okay, we got to start snapping through this stuff. We have a bunch of pre-production stuff. We have a whole bunch of episodes in the pipeline. We'll change some things up, try to do what we can, and we've only got like 64, but we're going to make it through all this stuff. I don't know the actual production, but I'm just going to say I feel it in my bones. And 2 was going to be crap. Now I forgot what the second one was going to be. Oh, when Goku is saying like, you know, you sure you don't want to come along? And like really, there's a shot they keep reusing where it's like an overhead shot where Piccolo is standing there on the mountain, and then you see the hole. And then it's when he and Dende are trying to work on the thing. Anyway, Piccolo is now holding this open, and Goku walks past him. So now he is on the edge of the cliff closest to the hole. We go back to that shot over the top, and Piccolo is standing there. There's no Goku there, despite in the most recent shot, he's just standing there while they're having this conversation. And then Goku says like, well, better go. And he jumps, and you hear the jumping sound. And then we cut back to that overhead shot, and Piccolo is still just standing there. There is no Goku animated jumping from that way down into the hole. You don't even see him falling through the hole. You just hear woo, him falling through. Like,
we didn't have a way to cut through all the drawing.
We didn't draw that. We didn't draw him taking the dive at all.
Yeah, I expect nothing less from this.
You know, I thought this was one of the least offensive Uchiyama episodes.
Are you kidding me?
Honestly,
it felt appropriately right for the story. I was like, you're right. I wasn't mad. I was like, how badly this is drawn and how badly the story is for this episode. It matches to where I'm like not that upset about it.
I thought his Piccolo was all right, which I feel sometimes can be difficult to do because...
Especially seeing him turbanless, but still wearing the cape. You don't see that a lot from Piccolo, so that felt off already, so it was just fine to see Uchiyama's drawing of it.
You know, you guys were talking last time about this arc just playing the hits, right? Well, literally, 17 is doing his 17 gut punch that he did against Piccolo.
Yeah,
I guess, is it Trunks or
it's
Vegeta
Trunks.
that he's doing it to? Yeah.
It's against Piccolo because like it goes like like it goes through his body, like it makes a
originally
it
was,
wrong one.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but in this fight, he does it to Trunks, which is like, it's that thing from that 17 Piccolo fight.
Gotcha, nice.
But you know what is cool that isn't playing the hits is Pan gets the drop on Gero, and Kiru pulls a gun.
Do you know why? But did you guys not catch on why this sucks?
Because where's Giru coming from?
No. What does Dr. Gero have in his hands?
The energy absorption
controller?
Energy he can absorb.
Oh,
there's no threat. Also, when 17 is shooting at him, he could have just done the classic thing where he puts his hands out in front of him and catches him.
About that. That would have been so much better. It was too much power. Even if he tried to absorb it, it would have yakoned him.
Yes,
that would have been a great explosion.
Awesome. Yeah,
that'd have been cool. Yeah, I would like that better than him just blowing up from it. Yeah, man,
and
waste.
It would be foreshadowing that this is what can happen to androids who absorb. You know, so it'd be
too
like
much
you
energy.
Put the thought in your head of like, this can be dangerous. It's not a win. Absolute
I'm telling you
thing.
Guys, whoever's running the show has no creativity. When they thought about the tempura bowl, the food countdown again, they thought they were geniuses. They were like, yo, I got it. And then they patted themselves on the back and called it a day. Say they're as good as Akira Toriyama.
Do you know who else has these things in his hands and never uses them? 17.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's I'm going to get into that with the episode that follows. How upset I am about that.
I think there's a miscommunication between like everyone involved in the production of the show right now. Yeah. And they're skipping past probably important plot points that they had ready to go for a longer set of episodes.
Yeah.
They're misusing characters or forgetting what they can do. They're being provided character designs with clear intent in the palm of their hands and not using
17
them.
never has that. 17 proper never has that.
Well,
but Super 17 does.
That I don't take issue with that. I mean, it's the machine.
Well, no, I'm saying like they included that on purpose and then never.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, Nakatsu drew that in, and no one in the staff thought to use that.
Yeah,
so
they're like, oh, that's just a cool thing that robots have.
No, because it's that's why it worked back with Goku and 19, because it's a storytelling device. You can actually see him absorbing the energy. Then you get it, and you're like, oh, he's doing this. Let me do a different technique or different strategy for this. But in this one, they don't use it at all.
Right. That's what it sounds like you're agreeing, but you started with no. I'm like, that is what we're saying, that is what it was.
He's just mad.
Yeah.
Just mad. You know, what are your guys' feelings on Vegeta's I am number one thing? And then switching it around to being like, Goku's not here. That means I'm the protector of Earth.
Yeah. I think in that context of being like, it's just me. I'm number one of who's left.
No, then don't use that wording. Don't use that wording, because that obviously is a callback to number one. And no, just say that Goku's gone. It's up to me. I have to be number one. That I would have liked more than just losing all character development. It's just saying I'm number one over Goku.
Yeah, because
I felt like they tried to have their cake and eat it too.
Yeah.
As far as Vegeta knows, Goku's trapped in hell and is not coming back. So
yeah.
But he shows up.
He says Seiya in this. This is the first time we get a Seiya in the subtitles. Saya? Yeah, sorry. Talking like a dubby. I'm the Prince of Saya. Like, we don't really get that. Any comment on that? Anyone know what the deal is with that?
This show in general has just been using Saya in a way that Z never did.
Yeah.
So once we started saying Saya power every other line, I just put it aside.
I don't know if if you knew anything more about the Japanese side of it. Like I'm reading subtitles that say Saya, but maybe he's saying Saiyan in actuality, and it's just Steve Simmons or whoever did the subtitles decided to put Saya.
So the word Saiyan, right, is Saya and then the kanji for person.
Jin.
So it's like a person of a Saya person. So he must be meaning Saya as like a higher concept or something. I don't know. I would have to take a look at the line in Japanese. But
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I don't really think there's much more to say about 45.
Oh, I've got.
You do?
You just said Goku showed up to save Vegeta, right?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I mean, what else happens there? He just shows up and he's like, I'm going to do it.
This guy can teleport. So we wrote off him not being able to teleport out of hell, right? For mysterious Enmadayo cracked Dragon Ball reasons, he couldn't teleport out of hell. But he is now in the earthly realm and can't just teleport over to Vegeta. He has to fly, dodge, hit out of the way.
It's so much cooler this way because it's, I don't know. I like that.
Also,
It's a callback to when Gohan saved Vegeta.
all
Blah,
these
blah, blah.
dead people who, after having been killed, are now back in waiting in line
Oh,
to
yeah.
be judged.
That's
Yeah.
They have their
That's
halos.
hilarious.
They have all their halos again. So
Yeah. They got
Well-
they had the moment to redeem themselves, but they didn't.
So it's
Here's
They're
the
just
thing.
back to hell.
They have halos when they die, and they have them at the check-in station.
yes.
Right.
And then when they decide that they're going to hell, that's when they take them away. Is
That's
how
what I'm saying.
GT works.
In the
I
5 minutes they
think.
came back to cause ruckus, one of them could have like decided to be a good person. It's another chance at
So it's
coming
all
to this check station.
internally consistent, but not with Z. So
Yeah.
Right. With all the stuff that Toei had already invented, they're like, we're going to rewrite the rules, but we're going to stick to the new rules.
okay, and I just have to bring this up because I think it's going to be a Senpai question. The guy after Pui Pui gets judged again is Colonel Yellow of the Red Ribbon Army.
Colonel Yellow.
okay.
So that's all.
The dude with like the
tiger
hat, the
guy,
head
yeah.
strap.
Yeah, I just felt like that was going to be a trivia
You
question,
had to throw
so
it
I
in
really
there.
wanted to
That's-
get that in there.
I thought the same thing too, Ken. I'm like looking at who's in line. I'm like, okay, that's General Blue, that's General Black, and then like, yeah.
I'm looking
I've got
back through my notes for things that I didn't say. So then I guess, not for Zenpai reasons, but I just wanted to ask, you think that 17 just has regular bullets in his arm? You think they're special? Think they're key bullets? What do you think those are?
Yeah, he's a perpetual engine, so why wouldn't they just be key
And
bullets?
because they look like regular bullets sometimes.
Right. So I was like, I think
That's
this might be regular
machine
bullets.
I like to think
Power,
that they're
I guess,
pellet gun. They're little like poppers, and you just shoot little poppers at everyone.
Just to spook them. It's not actually going
Yeah.
to hurt.
Yeah.
I do.
All right,
have
well, I'm
another-
sorry.
I have another thought about some dead people later, in which I will pose a trivia question to Doug
Okay.
when we get to that episode.
I'm
but
excited for
for
that
a little bit.
'cause I love trivia. Commonly
Trivia
known.
challenge gauntlet thrown down by Ken. Well, I'm sorry that I tried to move past 45 so quickly. So I hope it'll find it in your hearts to forgive me.
We'll
you
think
two.
about forgiving
We'll
you.
see.
Just keep going.
Okay, good. Because now we're going to do 46, which is Clash Super Saiyan 4 versus Super number 17. I'm going to try Ken's thing. I'm going to try to do an impression. I'm going to do a narrator thing. Back on Earth, Goku rushes Super 17 and finds the powered up machine mutant to be very formidable foe, and I missed an A in there. Goku is forced to transform into Super Saiyan 4 and go all out against the android who mysteriously takes no damage from the Saiyan's Ki Blast onslaught. Wow, I wrote that sentence, I think, and that's bad. Could Videl and Chi-Chi, who are on their way to the battlefield, change the balance of this monumental fight?
I love that line.
This is why I have, yeah. This is why I have Ken read it, because I can't, and I'm bad at it. But
You
that's
just
okay.
knocked away like 2 years of your life, straightening your throat doing that.
So it's very suddenly evening.
Yeah, it feels
Hey.
like
For the shot, I don't care. The way this
It
opens
look-
up, it's immaculately beautiful. Oh my god.
visually it's good, but I thought, I was like, did the production teams not talk about where the last
No.
episode ends and where this episode starts?
Absolutely not. This is not like the Saiyan arc where there was this gradual build up as the sun was setting.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it just like implies that the battle's been going on for a minute, right?
Then show us
'Cause-
that. I want to see
Because
it.
it just ends. Well, no, they want to get to the Super Saiyan 4. They want to show that Goku's, for some reason, not using his full power against this dude and been fighting all day.
Right.
But
Definitely has a different tone. It's no longer like hopeful, like Goku's here. It's like, we're all
this
dead.
feels like the episode where the story writers and the animators, they all just wanted to get to this episode and then like just have Dragon Ball fun with it. Have great fights, great cinematography, beautiful shots all around.
I mean,
the beginning.
We're changing settings constantly. Mountains, ocean, space, back to Earth. Like, we're just going all over the place. It's fun.
If this saga was like 20 episodes, this would have been the ultimate battle of it.
Suddenly switching to evening, I think, does work in selling the fact that they begin fighting all over the world by immediately setting us in a different time setting and then going like, oh, now it's nighttime and now it's daytime again. It's like, oh yeah, we're flying all over the globe. It's just it's such a stark thing to suddenly jump with that at the beginning of the episode because there's no assumption that
Satan and Pan are still just there, but it's the sun is setting. So
the way it opens with them two, you're like, yes, like you really feel for Mr. Satan. Like he's so sad that Pan is like out for the count or presumed dead or whatever. Like you feel it, man. It's so good.
I really think I had the least to talk about with this episode.
Really? I mean, I guess it's a lot of just like fighting. And it is a lot of like Goku being an idiot. But there's the one shot where Goku punches 17 like clear across halfway around the world. You remember that shot? Yeah. And then 17 from the North Pole shoots his like laser beams from there back to like Pennsylvania. And like I'm thinking like, Ken, can you get your friend Matt Pat on here and like do like a theory on like if that actually works and how long that would take? Would it run out of juice? It just seems so wild.
Yeah, me and Matt Pat keep in touch. Yeah, I'm sure.
Right. Yeah.
Seems like he misses entirely because the shots all go like further and Goku's like,
gets close enough from where he is. He gets close enough.
So
I guess
when we have the red sky and Goku falls in the water and the water's all orange, we're both of you guys also like, oh, Ava. LCL. Yeah, I know. Hey guys, we also have an Ava podcast where we're currently reviewing 2.22, which I think will be out for this one. So check that out.
Ken and Randy are super nerds about it, and I'm still confused after 20 years.
I do like that Goku transforms into Super Saiyan 4, gets up there, and Dr. Mew is like, who is that?
Yeah.
He's never seen...
Makes sense. I like that.
He never saw him get to be an adult. He's always known Goku as this little shit. So then
for the record, Dr. Mew should barely know who Goku is, period. Why is he mad at Goku and scared of Goku in general?
Well, because he messed up his stuff, even though, again,
so did Trunks
he
and
should
Pan.
be mad at Trunks. Yeah.
Well, maybe
it's the Goku show.
Maybe he doesn't recognize Trunks as the real threat. Like, yeah, he's mad at Trunks, but Goku is always the...
Dr. Mew also knows that Saiyan should have black hair, and so Trunks doesn't register him as a Saiyan. It's like, oh no, but this Goku guy.
Yeah.
The real McCoy. I got bamboozled because we cut to a silhouette of a person putting on a helmet. And I'm like, oh, it's Videl. And then the door opens and Chi-Chi walks out with like
Isn't
a pot
great?
and pan thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I guess it's Chi-Chi. And then Videl pops up.
Bamboozlement of it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, and I'm here too. Like, oh, okay, it's both of them.
I love that moment. I was like, yes, give me more of this. Like they're in it. Like it's shown from like a shadowy perspective and everything. It's so great.
The Chi-Chi thing is a callback to both the Saiyan arc and Namek, where she got all that weaponry.
Battle ready.
Rambo'd up. The Saiyans. Yeah,
Rambo'd up.
Yeah. And then in Namek, she was leading the squad of, I think it was like Yajirobe, Roshi, Oolong, or whoever. Yeah, everyone's going to go to Namek after them.
So great. Love it. And just to see like Videl again in the Mark II Great Saiyaman outfit is so great. And she even like comments, oh, I still got a great figure. I'm like, yeah, you do, girl.
And that's the first time we've seen that in the anime too. That's from movie 13. So
oh no shit, really?
Yeah, it's
in the anime Dragon Ball Z near the end when like a filler episode.
Is it?
Yep. Goku, Gohan and Videl are like teaming up at the end, like post like when the world is fine, like taking down criminals. It's there.
It's there.
It's not a movie 13 original.
Oh, okay.
But it's great to see her back again.
Well, because I also was thinking how they made that Mr. Satan's movie 9 costume in the last batch of episodes
in the billboard. Yeah. Good catch on that from your part, Ken. That was crazy.
There are so many shots from this episode that are just part of that US GT ending thing.
I was like, oh, the same thing.
That's all this is. They took it all from this episode.
That's how good and moody this episode looks. That it's like someone in America's like, that's so moody. Let's use it on this moody intro of Grand Tour. But yeah,
I want to do
everything's so recognizable.
I wanted to address real quick the matter of Bra truly being her father's daughter.
Yes.
Having that really like evil looking face.
Yeah,
right.
to
go after
that,
Chi-Chi and Videl. Yeah, I thought that was awesome.
That's awesome.
I know that Goku is dumb, but this whole thing only strengthens my perception that GT fights are just ki blasts, because that's all Goku's doing this whole fight.
If I can't do that, well, there's nothing else I can do. There's no way to beat the person with that ki blast.
What could I? Yeah, what possibly else is in my repertoire as a martial artist?
Yeah, as a martial. It's
so
dumb.
Goku is repeatedly trying to read 17's ki, and if he's using teleportation, you have to be able to lock onto someone's ki.
Mm-hmm.
This is a machine mutant. Maybe it's a mutant, so maybe it has ki as opposed to just regular androids.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Yeah, I get away from that.
I'll buy that. I'll write that into the wiki for sure.
Also, the whole thing I thought about with where like as soon as you use the ki blast, that ki is registered as ki because it's called ki. Also, it's such a coincidence because I think I saw someone online. It might have been Herms that was translating the Super chapter that's out right now, where Pan is talking, or maybe it was a while back, but Pan was talking to Piccolo about, I want to learn how to do Kikoha like Goten and Trunks, and then it gets mistranslated to like Kikoho, Piccolo's tri-beam thing, and it's like, oh no, I mean, and he explains how Kikoha just means basic ki blast, and Kikoho is the Tien thing, but it's in this episode, in the subtitles, that it says Kikoha. I'm like, oh, it's a good thing I saw that little snippet on Twitter just randomly. Otherwise, I wouldn't know what the hell they're talking about. And it just means basic ki blast.
I do like the idea of Pan being... I mean, she's 3 years old, so I like the idea of her getting it wrong.
Yeah.
That's fun, too.
Like Kamehameha. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
You guys are big fans of inflation horror, body horror here on this podcast.
No.
Get a lot more of it here.
There's definitely some of that here. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's
sexy
sexy
up a little
here.
more, but yeah, he starts drooling.
He's buffing up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, man, that face.
But it just upset me how Goku just kept not getting it. Like he just kept throwing ki blast after ki blast after ki blast. And it's like, man, nothing's happening to this guy. He seems unfazed. Maybe I should just do more.
Goku tries something entirely different in that he decides that he's going to be an earthbender for a bit. And make mountains.
So sick.
Yeah, did you catch that then this is used as the area where in Super Broly, Piccolo's waiting for them to teach Goku and Vegeta the fusion dance? It's the same place. Check it out.
Oh, I did not catch that, no. Because I think of this as a level from Xenoverse 2.
Yeah, really? I'm just bullshitting. It reminded me of the Super Broly movie. It might even be.
No more trivia questions from you, Doug. Unreliable.
Doug, if everything was canon, Super Broly takes place long before this happened.
I know, but GT is just off the rails, man. You don't know.
Yeah, he made them go back in the past. Right.
Whoa.
They were already perfect circles, but they just receded down back to normal Earth, and then Goku and GT brought them back up again.
Man,
but no, and then Goku's like, oh, after all these, I think he starts getting it, like, oh, maybe like my ki blasts are not damaging him; they're actually like, giving him energy. Let me throw my strongest ki blast at him, 10 times Kamehameha.
Let me just feed him. I've seen energy absorption before. I think this guy does energy absorption just to make sure. What if I just give him everything I have?
He doesn't say to make sure. He says that's my strongest attack, and if you survive that, then I got nothing. That was his rationale. Is that
why would you throw it?
It's going to take him out. It's going to take him out, and it doesn't. So it's just, yeah, you're an idiot. If he at least mentioned, oh, I thought about it. He must be just like Yakon. If I give him too much, maybe he'll blow up. He doesn't mention that though. He just says this is to kill him, and it doesn't kill him.
That's because they knew no one was going to remember who Yakon was, and without the time to explain it, there's no time for that.
That's the GT mindset writers that they could have used. They're like, oh, no one's going to remember Yakon. Let's just do that again. And like not even have to explain Yakon, just explain that, oh, Goku is going to test it out. But no. It's just
Toyotaro was in charge. Toyotaro was in charge. He would have been
he would have found
put the Yakon reference in there.
Yeah.
That's what we need.
But no, nothing. Goku's just an idiot. But it's also not entirely his fault because like you said, Ken, in the beginning, that he doesn't use his palms to absorb the energy. The energy blast just hit anyone in his body and he absorbs it. That's such bad storytelling. You have the thing in your hands that can then adjust to the audience or to your heroes that something is amiss. But no, I don't even use
and
that.
It's also, it doesn't make sense because the next episode establishes that 17 absorbing energy leaves him, he has to do a certain position, which leaves him open, which would also be the same thing if he was having to hold both hands out to absorb energy. He would still be open.
Yeah. So they could have used that, but they don't.
They don't.
Real quick, because we're going to bring it up in our next episode discussion, but this episode establishes that 17 can detect teleportation by vibrations in the air.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which at this point is like okay.
Yeah. Weird thing to just bring up now.
I was like, okay, I see where you're coming from, and I believe that, but okay.
Yeah, why would you say that?
Yeah. So no one else can feel the vibration? No one else is like, feel the vibration.
And then this episode ends with Goku kind of being like, well, I guess I'm dead.
Yep.
I'm done.
That was fun.
I've thrown in the towel.
Yeah.
I'm definitely not going to be energized at the beginning of the next episode. Total 180 of where I just was.
You're going to bank on the audience forgetting.
I mean, the production didn't have a phone call with the studio handling the next episode of like, all right, guys, so here's where our script ends. That you got that? And they're like,
yeah,
no, actually wasn't listening. There was a really good baseball game on, but I'll talk to you later. And I just hung up. And it's like, I got
funny.
it.
So I guess to wrap it up, I love that Vidal called Chi-Chi mother in this episode. It was like, oh yeah, I mean, it's a family now. Like you're married into it, and that's my mother now. Not my mother, like that's my replacing mother, but it's just like mother.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I always
exactly.
I always don't know what to call my in-laws.
I just go by their first names. That's as a person who's only interacted with my in-laws really twice. I just go by first names.
If they're cool, I feel like I would call them like Mr. and then the initial that their name starts with, like Mr. P or Mr. O, you know, but I
do a lot of like 4D chess to never have to address them in the second person.
Hey, like make eye contact. Michael, Helen, if you're listening to this episode, I'm sorry you let me know what you want me to call you. Thank you very much.
I make sure to tell my wife to call her father dad and me daddy, just so there's no confusion going on.
No, you got to do that. You got to make sure that that's clear. Otherwise, things get confusing real fast.
Doug, best of luck to you in your
It's a TikTok video. Don't mind me.
He's got TikTok brain. Please forgive Doug. Ken, I'm going to let you handle this last one because you do such a good job.
All right. The big reversal. Goku and number 18's double strike explosion. Super 17 has pushed Goku to the brink, leaving the Saiyan with no choice but to amass his power and explode. Miraculously, Goku survives but is left with no more gas in his tank, and things are looking dire. Just before the killing blow, number 18 arrives on the scene, ready to exact revenge for Kuririn's murder. By working together, she and Goku manage to defeat Super 17 and save the Earth. With their foe defeated, it's time to gather the Dragon Balls and wish those that were lost back to life, although strange cracks have formed in the magical wishing orbs that have given way for a terrifying Shenlong to appear. What ominous omen does this black smoke dragon foretell?
Ooh.
Did the last episode not end with 18 showing up? Or was that just this episode entirely?
It was this episode.
Mm-mm.
Wow. Maybe it was a commercial break or something? Because I remember it, like her flashing her tits and then it going to commercial break or ending or something like that.
Yeah, this horny episode.
Yeah.
It decided to like just frame it on her chest with no context.
That's where the bomb is.
No, this is before I know that. We know that, but this is before they tell us. I made a note. Like they didn't say the bomb. She just went like ripped off her shirt.
No, they had talked about they had talked about the bomb beforehand, but they didn't just say where it was. So we're like, we had to take a beat and like, why are we zoomed in on this chest? And then we had to be that's where the bomb is. That's why we're showing it. Okay.
Yeah, and Doug, with my notes here as evidence, I have stuff about the bomb and then cool boob shot. So
okay, great. Separately, for the bomb. I'm sure the animators were like that black bra was not there before, but then someone in like supervising was like, "That's too much. You got to cover that up a little more. Put a black bra on."
DBZ's airing in America now. You got to clean this up.
They did it for us. It's just so weird that there's no strap. Like, so it's not a maybe that's what she looks like underneath. We never see her bare breasts like that before. Maybe there's no nipples. It's just a black void.
That's exactly what they were going for.
That's so much lore.
Speaking of lore, at the very opening, we have Videl carrying Chi-Chi to the battlefield, and she's like, "Oh, this is too high. Fly lower." So then Videl just zooms down, and I'm like, "Man, she's flying real fast. I don't think she could fly that fast before." But then I remembered she didn't fly fast in the Boo arc because the air was, hurting her eyes. I'm like, now she's got a helmet on, so now she can just zoom.
Was that the only reason? Oh, that's so nice.
I guarantee you, though, Randy, I'm sure that was not in the head of the writers.
They didn't think about that at all.
But for me, I was like,
love it.
ooh, they're really using their noodle here.
It's been a lot of times, and now she's used to flying, and she can speed up that. She can be that fast. But yeah, it gave me the Yajirobe and Bulma vibe, flying while carrying her underneath her.
Oh, speaking of Bulma, her and Bra are also on the way there, but Bulma notices there's flooding, there's storms, there's volcanoes, etc., wondering what's going on. What do you think about that foreshadowing, Ken? I know that you're a big fan of every time we're randomly cutting away to Dragon Ball's cracking.
It's it's okay here because it's not like everything's good and peaceful, and then Joji Yanami's like, it's nothing like that. So this is okay. This is natural storytelling.
I liked it in retrospect, realizing it was foreshadowing. I thought she was just looking at the destruction that Goku and 17's fight was doing to the world. Like, wow, like the first time they're like noticing that, oh, they're killing people intermediately by battling it out. But no, it is just that foreshadowing of the world climate change is happening. So
like I said, Goku has no memory of thinking he was going to lose this fight.
No. Real big, that one Namek episode where Vegeta's is like, screw all of you, and then leaves, and the next episode he's just chilling with them.
Yeah. So they bring up the vibration thing, and Goku's like, oh yeah, you couldn't tell because of that attack makes so much noise.
That attack, Dengeki Jigoku Dama, is that the one you're talking about? Yep. Which I had to look up because I'm like, there's one word in there I don't know. So it's Electric Shock Hell Ball.
Yeah, or Electro Eclipse Bomb. Was the subtitles I have. Too? I think I have a different set of subtitles here. I remember
these are using Steven Simmons. Steve.
I know yours are. I think forever ago, I own all of GT back here. You can see it. So
yeah.
But I think forever ago, the files I have downloaded for some reason change a lot of attack names because this was one episode I didn't watch off of Tyson's Plex. I watched it here on my computer where I have my own files. So the way whatever they did called it Electro Eclipse Bomb, and I'm like, that's not right. How can that? I know what I'm hearing. I'm hearing Jigoku. Hell should be somewhere in here. So I don't know why that was changed out. Maybe that's a dub thing or something.
The attack does look cool though. It looks similar to Android 13's kind of ball.
Oh, right.
Hey, they're both androids, so maybe.
Well, one of them is a machine mutant now. So.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
So what the hell was up with Goku seemingly storing energy outside of his body?
Yeah. So
catch that. What?
Here's the thing. They're trying to do the thing like in Mega Man where you charge his Buster, right? And that's all internal, but they've got these weird energy orbs that are coming in from the air around him to signify he's charged his energy. I think they're just like, that's how they do it in these games. Let's do something similar. I don't know. I can't think why. It's just weird.
I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, it's like another thing where maybe if this was a longer set of episodes, maybe this was supposed to be something where Goku's for some reason leaving energy around. And then he's got 17 trapped and then he sucks it all in. But we see it. It's there. Visual evidence.
It's a weird visual thing that's like not part of the Dragon Ball dictionary of like, this thing is this. Or we don't do that. But for whatever reason, here's a new thing that we're introducing out of nowhere. And then he's going to blow himself up. And there's a big explosion of ki. But then he's just like laying there. He's like, well, I'm okay. Like, that's not how that works.
That's not how sacrifices work. You didn't do anything.
That's how it works in the Budokai games, where if you're Vegeta and you use Final Explosion, you explode, but then you've got 1 HP of health left, because obviously then it was just an automatic you lose button.
Now that you mention that, I was going to say, like, I'm so mad that, like, Dr. Mew, like, called it out. It's like, once Goku's hugging 17, and it's just like, what are you gonna? You can't do anything. Your arms are occupied, unless. And he guesses that he's gonna blow himself up. Like, why is that immediately what you go to? It's just a video game where like his Goku's ultimate move, and like, oh, he's gonna use that move. Like that's how.
But I love that part. It's saved for me by then Goku's Nozawa's performance would be like, yeah, but what if I might do it?
Super defensive.
Yeah.
There's
Maybe I
sometimes
will.
Maybe I will test me, bitch.
Yeah.
the writing or the direction for Goku, sometimes these episodes feels a little weird in that we're getting strange performances from Nozawa for certain line reads, and I'm just like, okay, sure, why
Now that
not?
you mention it, episode 45 opened up. The first thing we see of Goku is that with his like dot eyes, like looking at Piccolo, like
Yeah,
it
I
was
love
so
that.
funny.
Yeah.
It was so
it's
great.
it's good, but it feels so different from all of the Goku we've seen before.
Well,
Yeah.
speaking of feeling different, what a team up of Goku and 18.
Yeah.
I mean, there have only been a handful of instances in which these two characters were 100 meters apart.
Yeah.
So, like,
I just
when
think I remember the one time they spoke in the tournament when
Yeah.
he came back to life for a minute.
So Goku is near her when Cell spits her up. Goku is near her at the tournament. Goku is near her again
Okay.
when he comes back to see that they're using the Dragon Balls and is like, oh no! He is near her at the 28th Tenkaichi Budokai at the very end of the series, and then I guess also when he
Here.
comes to heaven after they beat Boo. But yeah, they only
Yeah.
talk the one time, and so
Yeah.
here, I feel like this was a senpai question.
It's very
But-
noticeable. It's very
Yeah.
yeah. You listed every single
Yeah.
one appearance. I love 18's Baka and the tournament back in Dragon Ball Z, which calls Goku an idiot. But yeah, I feel like this moment could have been such a heart wrenching. I think if it wasn't 18 that did the whole expositional like you killed Krillin, blah blah blah. I wish it was like she came up just to fight 17, and 17's like, oh, you came back after I killed your husband, and then Goku's like, what does he mean?
Right.
It's like Krillin's dead, and then that would have been like a nice moment.
Yeah, because she drops that information, which is something that Goku did not
Very
know before.
Exponentially, yeah.
But then he's just like, oh, huh, okay.
A
Where
little
it's
bit,
like-
yeah. He does do a little bit, just like,
Yeah.
oh man, that sucks.
Kuririn dying has been a trigger for Goku twice.
Yeah.
He like went nuts and chased after Tambourine, and then he of course turned Super Saiyan on Namek, and here they do nothing with it. So for
Yeah.
Kuririn here, this is his wife and his best friend. And so
Yeah.
like the two most, I mean, there's also his daughter, I guess, but the two
Right, I know
most
what you mean.
important people in Kuririn's life, and we get no meaningful emotional beat here whatsoever.
Nothing.
They should have at
could
least
have been big.
Yeah, they could have at least like used one of his techniques in something like you blind him with the Taioken and I'll get in and do something or whatever. You know,
Yeah.
just be like, oh,
I'd even
okay.
like that cheesiness of it. Just more of like the anger. Just more of like you're not gonna get away with this. Like something out of Goku. And
They're both
but-
furious, and 17's like, whoa, what? I can't read their movements. They're just so angry and full of
Yeah.
rage
Yeah, or
and
like-
coming at me.
18 is like my husband, and then Goku stands up and my best friend, you know, something like that.
Yeah.
Like some cool
Yeah.
like moment that ties these two characters who we've never really seen together before.
Yeah. Have a little
Tying
like
them.
ghost image of Krillin.
Well, I
and
know
then
that's
if, no. And then if it fades out to then Goku and 18 rushing 17 or something.
So we're kind of already soured on this by this point. And then GT stops it stops everything and says, we bet no one in the audience thinks we know what we're doing. And so we're going to bring up this bomb,
They think they're so
Yep.
smart.
and we're going to make everyone think we forgot about what's going on with this bomb.
I started writing down like they forgot that they don't have these anymore. And then I had to like, oh no, backspace.
Yeah, immediately they address it. Goku is like, "Oh wait, yeah, didn't they do that?"
Wait, what are
Although-
you talking
which-
about?
Where she says like, oh, you know, it's because of the bomb. That's why he's held back because
Yeah,
he didn't want my bomb exploding. And then Goku goes, but he wouldn't like, you don't have that. But I guess he wouldn't know about that, would he? Because he wasn't there.
But how does Goku
I needed
know
that.
about
I needed that scene of like
That's
Goku
true.
being a blumbering idiot and just like calling it out in front of 17. It's like, yeah, but you don't have that. But he doesn't. It's all internal.
But you're right.
Later.
How does he know that? Because he was dead when they made that discovery and that wish and everything.
I mean, I'm
So-
was
assuming
listening.
he was watching from Kaio,
Yeah,
but
it's right. No, it was right after like Gohan. He rejects the wish of bringing himself back to life. from everyone. And
Well, that was their first wish, and then he's like, "So goodbye," and they're like, "Okay, well, what are we gonna do?" And then
he's like, "Shh,
so it's like
I'm on mute."
yeah. So it's like he either hung up the call or like I'll just be on mute and I'm just gonna listen in the rest of their lives here.
Right. Or I like to think that Krillin and him talk throughout those years that we don't see them.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, no, she's fine now. How'd you have a baby? And then there was more conversation. Like, yeah, she's got the bomb out.
And so then when there's the
what are
shot.
babies? So like how do babies happen? Goku doesn't know because remember he hasn't ever kissed anybody. So, which we learned in Super. Sorry, Ken, go ahead.
The boob shot happens here. No,
the boob shot does happen.
And then I just wrote down "Get owned, Mew."
He's yelling at 17, calling him a coward, and then he turns the Dengeki Jigoku Dama on him instead.
Yeah, it's very
in
projected.
this arc's defense. I liked Mew more in these episodes than I did in the baby arc.
Well, it's because he's not going baby the whole time.
Yeah. Why didn't Pan go after? Why did she do like a coin flip on who she was going to go attack when the previous episodes? Like it's like why didn't you go for Mew? He's the one. I don't know.
I mean, there's this other old man. They're both two old dudes.
Well, she says like we know you're the one in control. When like I don't think we've ever seen him give orders or anything. Whatever.
It's true.
She hasn't seen him before, and so maybe she thinks he's some sort of mastermind. I don't know.
Sure.
Right. She's a child. So we have this whole big scene here where it feels like this is a good plan, but they don't actually interact with each other. It's just 18, like, I'm just going to keep doing this. I know it's not working, but I'm just going to keep doing it.
And she can keep doing it forever.
Does say, like, don't do that. That's true. Goku does, like, say, like, don't do that, 18. It's going to power him up, you idiot. It's like, no, call back to yourself, you idiot. You didn't know that.
Right. But then he's like, I've got an idea. He's got to be stuck in that pose, so I'm going to go. Even though I have no energy left, suddenly I can get up, I can run up, I can do this one super cool move from movie 13 out of nowhere, and follow it up with a really cool Kamehameha. This whole part
3
rules visually. Well,
I like
it's
to
one
believe,
time.
No, I like to believe it's 3 that he keeps doing it.
So I find it strange that 17 turns around and says like, "Oh, you're gonna blast me? I'll just absorb it." And Goku's like, "I think it's a little too late for that," and then does it. Like, no, like there's still plenty of time. These people are very fast. I don't know, like, how does that work? But it is cool and it's brutal. Like seeing that blast go through and like everything being. Oof. This is a show for children.
It's visceral, but it's unsatisfying.
Yeah.
It's true. I would agree. I had a clip of this starting at when he's jumping up through her ki blast and, ending with him dissolving back in like, I don't know, 2001. And I watched it all the time. Like, this is so cool. Because without any of the context, you're like, this must have had a really cool build up and all this stuff happens and it's very earned. And like, no. Seeing it in context, it's worse. That's
so much worse. He just dies. That's just it. It's eviscerated.
But at least 18 can finally grieve. So now we get some alone time for her to cry, which is good.
And then Goku ages 30 years. At least his voice.
Oh yeah.
It's suddenly like a normal adult Goku performance coming from Misawa.
Oh, I didn't catch that.
As Goku is being like super retrospective. And I wasn't sure if I was just like putting that on the voice performance and then everyone else shows up and then Nozawa turns the kid Goku back on and I'm like, okay, yeah. We were in adult Goku for a little bit here.
Yeah. That's fair.
Well, when he gets serious, he kind of taps into that voice a little bit.
I like that Goku explains that 17 didn't hold back because of the bomb. He held back because he can't kill his sister. Like,
I hate that.
And
I hated that so much.
But then Goku immediately walks it back or not. Who knows?
Or not. Whatever.
I did
it's fun
like
to
that.
think about. He doesn't know how to console a person.
That's my headcanon.
Yeah.
I don't know. Check the wiki. And he just turns around.
Because without that, I would have hated that was reality. And like, no, there was no hint of that in the slightest. You can't call that. Like, if you did, I would have liked that and approved of it. But no, never.
I do love...
Chi-Chi makes it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You go for it.
I love
what you're going to say.
I do love Vegeta as he comes in, he's holding Trunks over his shoulder. And then he looks up and he's like, "Oh, Kakarot, you did it." And then he just gives like the biggest smile. And I'm like, yes. So we haven't lost that Vegeta
Yeah.
in GT.
Yeah.
We just had that one episode
the
where he was
writers
angry.
feel like, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Goku,
so
you son of a bitch.
all right, Doug, here's my trivia question for you. In this episode, it is revealed that a character had died off screen. Who is that character?
What? What? Is it an important character or a side character or
A once
well, obviously
important
it's a side
character.
Huh?
A once important character. This is a bad guy. A bad guy who died off screen.
Oh.
And is revealed
Dude.
in this episode.
Usually I watch the episodes the day of when we record this podcast. I watched it yesterday, so that's all gone. Those little details are all gone. I can't even imagine.
I can't even remember who this is.
Ginyu. Ginyu's in line.
They mention,
Yeah, I guess, but so was like Raccoon and all that.
but we've never seen Ginyu die.
we've never seen Ginyu. We've seen the others, but not Ginyu.
Oh, you're right.
Interesting.
So that if that's a Zenpai question, that is -3. Okay.
Does
Well,
that mean
I
he
think-
died in frog form, and then his spirit became back into the Ginyu.
No, it means that he switched bodies with Taguma, and then Vegeta kills him. And that's why he's dead in GT.
No, but
because
then-
Super and GT are canon to each
If
other.
that is the case, then his main body is the Ginyu we know in the Namek arc, right? Because
Right.
you're saying he would have reverted back to
At the time,
Which isn't
that
even his
was-
original body.
right.
At the time,
So-
there was no indication that that was not his original body. I don't think.
Oh, okay.
You shut up, Ken. It's not
We've since known that that's not the case, but
Right.
So he must have found his original Ginyu body.
no.
Is that still
It's just his
intact?
spirit is still purple Ginyu. Don't think about it.
Because
too
they don't
much.
have bodies. Yeah.
It's like Ava, the soul catching net. Don't think about it.
No. How
So
are the
Chi-
souls in the Avas? I don't get how they put them in there.
So Chi-Chi says that they should get the Dragon Balls together and wish for everything to just, let's just bring everything back. Let's chill everything out here. And I like that it's Goku, Pan, and Trunks that set off to go get the Dragon Balls. It's an adventure we don't get to see, but it's nice that those three get to go out and do something.
I love
even though
that
we don't get to see
they
it.
show us retooling Giru for the Earth Balls.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's the narrator even is like, oh, and then they put Giru back together because they needed the Dragon Ball radar. It's not like they put him back together because they missed their friend.
It's the stuff that this writing staff, although I say writing staff, but this person, there is one writer for this entire arc, and that is Atsushi Maekawa, who is one of only 2 writers going forward with the rest of GT. It's just this person and Shinobi Oito who will do the Dragon arc. So someone soloed this whole thing. But it's
I'm
just
sure they had a vision, but
the amount of stuff that Maekawa is paying attention to and is not paying attention to are equally baffling.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, how can you be so on the ball to bring up certain things, like the whole fake out with the bomb, and you can bring up retooling Giru, but we miss that Giro had energy absorbers on his hands.
yeah.
some things just stick with fans. I'm sure if you give it to someone here in America who's a fan of Dragon Ball, they'd remember some things and forget others.
And this is why, honestly, people need to stop giving Toyotaro so much crap. He's the right guy to be doing what he's doing now.
As much shit as we say,
It's true.
he knows his Dragon Ball. Time and time again, he proves that. So I
So-
heard. I don't read Super, so
Yet.
One day, it's coming. They go out, they get the Dragon Balls, and I like that, they notice the cracks. Nobody brings up that the glowing boing sound is higher pitched
Yeah.
and different than
like,
it always has been. Yeah. It's like a sad duck is what it sounds like. I like that.
the Dragon Balls are a sad duck.
And I don't know, the visual of gas leaking out of the cracks looks really rad. Like, whoever
Yeah.
came up with that visual idea, good job. You did good.
Yeah, this just feels so sudden. Like,
Does
yeah,
it? Because we had 6 episodes of like, oh, cracks. There's something mysterious going on
no,
that I can't
sorry.
affect these worlds.
Not this. There's plenty of foreshadow for this, but it's just the end of 17. Just like, oh, we're just done with that completely. Like,
Oh yeah, the first
all
half of the episode done.
all the bows have been tied. Like that's it. I've never seen a more like, oh, I guess that thing is over.
Yeah,
no pomp or circumstance.
They're rushing through.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it feels rushed. That's what it is.
Then we get this big, scary, dark Shenlong, And I think I can't remember if it's a character, if the narrator says that it has an evil key like nothing they've ever felt before.
Goku says that.
Goku says that? Okay, great.
So they can tell intent, I guess. Has Goku ever been able to do this? Like, this is an evil.
Does an evil key like nothing I've ever felt before means it is so evil with bad intent more than I've ever seen? Or is it someone who is evil who is stronger than I've ever felt anybody ever be?
They don't know he's evil. That was my whole issue, is that this dragon pops up and they're super prejudiced towards it. They're like, what the fuck do you want? Like, whoa, he doesn't said a word yet and you're already like calling him a evil.
I'm being pretty chill here, guys.
Yeah,
like,
he is.
Be like,
I want to find out where, I thought the cigar was with him in this one, but it's not. I want to know where that comes from.
the balls are cracked. The sky's turned red instead of just nighttime like usual, and the wrong guy came out of the balls. So I think they have reason to be like, you might know you're evil. I think
Goku's in fight mode.
Yeah,
not in like who are you? So it's pretty assumptuous. What sort of looking for?
Presumptuous.
Scrumdiddlyumptious of him to be like,
there you go.
Who the hell are you?
So I think he can feel the intent, Randy, to answer your question.
Yeah,
sure. If Roshi can smell death in the air, then I'm sure
it's true. It's got a certain funk to it. You see,
he feels the vibrations.
He does. So that's it. That's where our bunch of episodes ends. And get ready because we've got more.
It is nice that it just kind of transitions into another arc this way.
It would have been nice if it was another episode rather than half an episode with Super 17 and then this half of the episode. Quick, let's start the next thing.
Well, they blew their load when the baby saga ended by showing the cracked ball. I mean, did they show the cracked ball?
No. Joji Yanami got on the mic.
We were upset they didn't.
No, I didn't want to see any of it. I didn't want to hear you. Old man Joji got on the mic and said, "They're doomed." And that was it. We didn't see the ball crack until Enmadayo was like, something's going on.
Oh, okay. That's how the 17 arc should have ended, like that. Cracked ball. And then next episode, let's get into it. But, cutting this in half felt really weird.
It's true.
Pacing-wise.
So, next time, guys, we're going to be covering episodes 48 through 51 of GT. And that's going to be the plan. I don't have anything else to say in this. Otherwise, you guys ready for a break and then trivia?
The final arc.
It begins now. Well, 2 weeks from now. But
so to give people a little taste of what's to come, there are only 4 more episodes of our retrospective left.
Mm-hmm.
How many?
4. You only have to watch GT for 4 more of these recording episodes.
Yes.
Doug.
Oh my god. After watching like the beauty that is Evangelion, and then coming back from Shin Godzilla, so then have to talk about this crap.
Not Shin Godzilla, but
sorry, Godzilla -1.
By Valentine's Day, Doug, you'll be free of GT.
Oh, I'm in love. Coughing season will be over.
It's true. All right. Well, we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back with some trivia and your thoughts on the Super 17 arc and GT stuff. So stick around. Hey, we're back, and we're here with what you guys had to say about this little bit here. Ken, as always, puts out a really great post, not a tweet. It's post now. He's and says that this is an arc shorter than even the Garlic Jr. arc. Now that it's already over, what do you think about it? Was it even worth the trouble, or was it a nice diversion between GT's bookends? And first up is listener Cage, who says, it would be generous to call this arc half-baked. Ooh, ouch. It feels like a first draft that no one ever bothered to edit. I find it hard to even enjoy these episodes because of how random and out of place this whole thing feels. Maybe it could have worked better as a movie or something.
Yep, because it like I said before, it really just feels like they wanted to get to episode 46, and like that's all that's where all the ideas and thought and creativity went into, was just that episode. Everything else around it, nothing.
Yeah, it's detrimental pacing for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just feel like there wasn't a lot of communication between writers, animators, character designers, and like, it's like a game of telephone. We're going to do something, and then we're going to send it your way, and you just figure out what you want to do with it.
And
the
story could have went along without this whole arc at all, right? Like, it just from Baby to then the Shadow Dragons, it could have happened.
Yeah.
So.
I'd like to see a recut of this and like episode 40, and then be like, okay, let's put the foreshadowing in there, skip this whole thing, just jump straight to this. But I guess they'd have to have a reason why they're wishing stuff back, or it could be when they wish the Earth back. I don't know.
There's no way to recut this to make it better.
Was this just to kill Krillin?
It was
to use the Dragon Balls again to like bring all the cities and stuff that were destroyed.
That's pretty fucked.
Yeah, man.
So we've got Saban here who says, I like Super 17, especially the design. Dragon Fist finish was cool, especially with 18 and our 17 contributing to the win. Goku's run up while charging the Kamehameha just to jump and shoot it at 17's face will always be memorable.
I saw that and I was like, this feels like the Kefla thing. Yep.
Yeah, but not as good.
So what is it when you're playing the hits of the thing playing the hits? It's just Super. Okay.
Yeah, it's just Super. Exactly.
Well, they did it against Broly in movie 8, and now they're doing it here, and then...
I want to agree that I like parts of Super 17's design. I just feel like there are some animators, and I can't remember exactly what episodes, where they don't know how to draw his face and make it look good. Yeah. I mean, it was both the second to last one we watched and the last one where I'm like, okay, he looks a bit more youthful, so it works a bit better. It's just sometimes they draw the eyebrows way too pronounced, and it's like, nah, you've ruined it, and his chin way too long.
When they do draw him well, though, I really do like this design. Sometimes it feels like, though, like his face is bigger than his eyes, and his eyes, his nose, and his mouth are like scrunched up into one little bit of this huge palette of a face.
And I don't like all of the hair pushed behind him. He needs to have some on the sides. I
like it. I like us both. I mean, I like that he has to do that sometimes to see. Just like, whoosh. It's like, oh man,
it's so beautiful.
I don't know if I'm crazy about his design. Having said that, I will be purchasing a Figure Arts should they make one.
Absolutely.
So.
What if they made one where he's buffed up when he's absorbing stuff?
No.
No? Okay.
No. I will.
You get a statue of that. There's no need to make a Figure Arts of that one.
Oh,
he doesn't move.
I guess that's what I'm thinking of, because I don't really like posable figures. I'm all about the statues.
The big kind. Like, this is the one to sell buffed up that I had back here.
Just like that.
That'd be great.
Parker Rico says, if I'm being honest, this arc was terrible. The only thing I liked about it was that it was short, and we got to see 18 kick some ass. Damn, I can't believe GT's almost over. Yeah, only one arc left to go. We got less than 20 episodes.
It's the Weasel's last fart.
Sure.
Yeah.
This one comes from Character Zero, or Mike. This arc certainly exists.
You know what? He's got a point.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better myself.
So far, the most objective of these tweets, I think.
Yeah, exactly. No editorializing.
Yeah.
Just telling the facts.
No notes on that. That's a perfect sentence.
We've got Jason Rufy writing in and saying, it's incomprehensible why this exists. It clearly wasn't for marketability. Super 17 is barely merchandised. It wasn't for the drama. Any unique, quote, what if interactions are glossed over. I'm convinced it's just adapting the leftover elements from the OVA that Baby's arc didn't use.
Oh. You know what? I'm on your side, Jason. I think I agree there that it's like, why did we have to do this? Like, it's so short. So many things are glossed over, and it's just kind of farted out. Even though there are some definitely enjoyable parts, there's a lot of little fight things that are cool. But like, yeah.
Even the episode 46 that I'm like, I enjoy it. Half of it is spent on just Goku just shooting ki blast at him and not understanding.
Right. I was really excited. All right, cool. Another Super Saiyan 4 fight. I like to see this thing in action, and I want to see it doing more.
Yeah.
Just kind of wasted.
It's a hot mess of an arc. There was a lot here that I really liked, though. And I don't feel like these 6 episodes were a drag for me personally. I know Doug is like about died watching them, but for me, it wasn't that bad. I won't be like upset watching this again. It's just like, it's just so all over the place.
Yeah.
I'm just sick of seeing Jiro and Mew. That's what I don't want to see them again.
I would say how much I liked this arc is less than when I came into it, because I was like, oh, this is going to be fun. Super 17. I like seeing him. He's a cool design. And then just went off the rails, and I was just kind of like, well, I still like this, but definitely not as much as I was coming into it with. So,
yeah.
But you know what I do like, guys, is pitting you in an arena of trivia and knowledge battling you between each other. Sometimes you and Zenpai, who writes our great trivia. So again, thank you to Zenpai. I know that Ken likes to poo-poo on you a lot. Of like, well, I had to say this so that way I could.
When Senpai first joined in on this, said, yes, I'll make questions for you guys, trivia questions. I don't think he understood that he would be taking part in the point system.
Or that he had become a sort of a villain for Ken, where he can't get him out of his head. He's always thinking about Senpai.
Well, I wasn't much competition for actual trivia, so Ken had to go meta and go after the trivia maker.
Ken is going to kill God with the power of trivia, is what he's trying to do here.
Yeah. Pat Sajak better watch out if I ever go on Wheel of Fortune.
All right, guys, question number 1 here. Besides the fact that Sergeant Metallic is shown as accessing the afterlife yet again, what giant lore inconsistency is present at the King Enma office scene in episode 45?
So episode 45 is the first one of the batch that we watched, the Uchiyama episode.
Yes.
Yeah. There's an inconsistency with lore, he says?
Yeah, so Sergeant Metallic is shown accessing the afterlife yet again. What giant lore inconsistency is present at the King Enma office scene on episode 45?
Why does he single out?
He's saying besides the fact that Sergeant Metallic, who is a robot, is here in the afterlife again, what is the big lore inconsistency? So forget about Sergeant Metallic. What is weird about this scene?
There's no space between well and come.
Is it that previously when they have shown us people waiting in line at Enma's, they're just like the little ghosts?
You got it.
Okay. Nice.
The dead should only very rarely have physical bodies. While even the Z anime showed pretty much everyone keeping their body in the afterlife, only people that died in extremely heroic circumstances should get to keep it.
I think they get a pass because they literally just got out of hell. They're not like... They didn't come back to life when they went down to Earth, did they? It was just they went through a portal?
Don't think too hard about it.
Yeah.
I'm already thinking harder than the GT writers right now.
Right. Next question. Which means of transportation do you get to use to... Sorry. Let's try this again. Which means of transportation do you use to get to heaven, and which one do you use to get to hell? So there's a different mode of transportation from the checkout station to get to heaven versus what you take to get to hell.
So to heaven, you take a plane.
I remember that. Because Goku looked at the window.
But to get to hell, you just drop down.
Yeah, there's a little trap door.
Yeah.
No.
I guess just for Cell.
Yeah, they show us that with Cell and Z.
But that could have been filler.
Well,
but there is a mode of transportation that is shown for a bunch of people going to hell.
Oh, I think
that's right.
It's like off in the distance. You see past the doorway that they're being sent. I'm just gonna guess a train.
Ken, I would say Doug, you're incorrect. Ken,
I'm gonna take my half a point and run.
Okay, you're just sticking with plane.
We lose planes if I guess.
Yes, Doug, you lose a point.
Everyone keeping track of their scores. Like, God damn it!
No. That one doesn't count. That's canon. He doesn't lose a point. Also, I don't think Ken should get a half a point because you have to give both answers. But maybe maybe not. The answer is a plane, yes, and then you get to hell by bus, which I think the reverse maybe because planes can suck, but buses are probably not great either. Okay,
right.
Buses are infinitely worse than planes, I'll tell you.
Okay. I'll accept it. Next question. Which Dragon Ball gets a crack in episode 45? Chinese names only.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Kidding. Ken.
Yixing Chu.
Which would be?
The 1-star ball.
You got it right. That's right.
Nice. I would have guessed the second, so I would have got that wrong.
All right, next one. In the scene where Videl is dressing up as Great Saiyaman Mark II, there is only one book whose title is clearly readable. What is its title?
Oh.
It's not that hard book or whatever from Super. Difficult book or something.
Dude, I think I might have seen the book and the title, and I just don't remember it now. But I think I noticed it.
I did not.
Oh, Doug, you could have been the one to take away.
Can you give me a hint
Senpai.
of what the subject of the book might be?
I can't because it's a single word.
Oh, then maybe not. I'm thinking of it's a few words. So
Math.
What is it?
Math.
Scholar.
No, it is album.
Album.
He's got
guess that.
Rolling Stones top 500 albums.
That'd be good. I'd like that.
Got a book of albums.
All right, next up. What unexplained phenomenon happened after Goku unsuccessfully, quote, blew himself up? What unexplained phenomenon happened after Goku unsuccessfully blew himself up?
Is this about Goku getting his shirt back?
His gi is completely restored despite having suffered considerable damage in the previous episode.
That's true. What the hell?
Didn't even catch that. So good job to both of you.
I didn't catch it until just now. I'm like, oh yeah.
He gets his shirt back when he blows up. That's cool. In episode 47, there is yet another inconsistency in the scene showing Enma's office. This time, an internal GT inconsistency. Which one?
Whoa. I don't know. No halos?
Well, no. It's that when we previously see them in the Uchiyama episode, they have legs. Here they do not.
Whoa! Jesus, Ken.
Did he knock
Am
it
I
apart
sharing
again?
my screen? Like, what is happening?
I'm telling you, dude.
Knowledge coming
I'm awake.
Perceptive.
I ate an angel and absorbed the S2 engine, and I am awake.
Oh no, Randy, can you pass me the sword of longest so I can combat this somehow? Here's the sword of longest, Ken. Take that. Hacha.
It's immediately down.
Now
Hopefully he doesn't
my plan is
reactivate.
successful or not. I don't understand why. Didn't you want that, Gendo? Whatever.
All right, last question, fellas. What is the name of the artist that sings the third GT ending? The one that is played in these episodes.
I don't know names
I don't know.
that.
but
Beyonce?
I can tell you who directed the movie. David Lynch. Is that worth anything?
Oh, Blue Velvet?
Yeah.
Nice. That's George Lucas.
It is Shizuka Kudo. Was the name of the singer.
That was
heard
my
of her,
second
sorry.
guess after Beyonce.
Beyonce is a good guess, though.
Dude, a Beyonce cover of Blue Velvet?
God, give her a cover of all of the Dragon Ball songs. Let's hear what her We Were Angels was
You
like.
can probably just run an AI to do that.
Well, Ken,
If
you're
you're
the person
li-
I go to.
If you're listening and you have access to make an AI version of Beyonce singing Blue Velvet, please, God, tweet at us. We will retweet the hell out of that.
Oh, yeah.
How much is that cameo going to cost?
Well, we're going to need her to sing so many, vocal things so we can use that as a sample. It's going to cost a lot. But that's going to be it for this episode, you guys. Thank you for listening. We love interacting with you and keeping you in the conversation, talking about our favorite franchise in the whole world. You can post at us on socials at WeGetAPod, and you can email us at WeGetAPod@gmail.com.
Thank you to Rifti Beats for letting us use his track Kakarot theme hip hop trap remix. You can find that and other great music by him on his SoundCloud. Ken, where can we find you?
You can find me at Detective X.
Randy?
You can find me at Saber_Breaker.
Doug? You
Doug.
can find me as Drbaz Doug.
So, thanks for listening, guys. This is the end of the episode where we get a little crazy. I start rambling a little bit, but I'm going to keep it tight this time. And I'm going to say, if you got a Spotify Wrapped notification that we are one of your top podcasts for 2023, tweet at us. We'll retweet it. I can't wait to see it. Someone did that and it made my day, saying that we were one of their top 3.
Oh,
So awesome.
That is
Love to hear
awesome.
stuff like that. And tell your friends, tell your moms, and be sure to just spread the good word of We Got a Podcast. 2024 is going to be a banger year. We're going to finally be done with GT.
Wow.
And we're going to be on to greener pastures.
Can't believe it.
So subscribe, review. There's polls Randy puts up. Randy, do you have any special stuff from your last Spotify you want to squeeze in here real quick?
Something that I could squeeze in real quick. I think I could probably do that.
Yeah. And we can Doug, we can just keep saying words here while we're vamping.
Dude, aren't words fantastic?
Yeah, words are great. We're just like
Look at
we're writing Chosenshuu. We're just putting words
can finally
to fill space.
Talk about figures that I have in my background. Look, there's Gohan, Krillin, battle suits, all this dynamic stuff. It's so great. And then I got Shenron, the Shenron SH figure arts finally.
Yeah, it's fine that we're doing this at the end of
Randy,
the
interrupt us
episode.
whenever you want to. We're just going to keep rambling until you interrupt us.
Okay, well, I'm going to interrupt you and say right here that our question for this past episode was, other than 17, which... I can't use my gosh darn
Dang,
mouth.
you had so much time to prep for that.
Other than 17, which Red Ribbon creation would you like to have seen come back for revenge? And we had Midnight Queen showing up to say, I think I would have liked it better if Cell were wreaking havoc on Earth instead of remaining in hell. The whole Goku being stuck in hell felt like a waste of time. I'd rather see Earth shenanigans.
Yeah. Cell, and then that's the superhero again done, but now. Yeah, that would have been better.
Yeah, I would totally agree.
Wakamoto's voice is just so great. To have him back again would have been in a bigger capacity than he is in these episodes. But
yeah, I would have liked that infinitely. Absolutely.
What about Hachan? Hachan would have been a great get an evil.
He's coming back for revenge.
Get an evil one.
He's coming back from being alive?
No, just Dr. Mew and Jiro. They make a new evil Hachan, a Hellfighter Hachan,
Ooh.
and then they fuse into like this like slimmer Hachan,
Yeah,
like
called
Frankenstein.
Android
but, like,
16. Wait.
No, here's what you do. They make evil Arale, fuse the two of them,
Oh my
and now we've
God.
got Super Saiyan 4 Goku versus this tiny...
Let's wrap this up before we get even crazier.
Okay.
Well, that was the Spotify Hour brought to you by McDonald's. No, I'm just kidding. All right, so that's here at the end of the episode. We'll still be with you one more time before Christmas hits, and then hopefully you'll bring us along for your travels, listening and keeping you safe on those planes, trains, and automobiles. So, as always,
Nice.
thanks for watching, and we'll catch you matinator.
Bye, moms.
Later.